Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel and another episode of the Arsenal show. Let's play the intro and then we'll get right into it. Yes, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel and another episode of the Arsenal show. And as you can see, it's the three amigos again, the record breakers, as I've been calling them. Yeah, we're all back together after number one 2 weeks ago. Last week becomes number two. It's unbelievable. I'm really, really grateful to have him here. So yes, as you can see, I've got Melvyn with us. Melvyn, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good.
Very good. I've had my weekend shower early because of you.
That's what we like to hear. I would like to say I've done the same, but I might be a liar, so I'll plead the fifth on that one. And we've also got Neil down there. How you doing, my friend?
I've had a morning S as well, but it's not quite a shower. It's an S meaning something else, but we won't go there.
Yeah, yeah. I can confirm I have had one of those. I don't need to lie about that one.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, and it's always a pleasure to be with you and Melvyn. Really appreciate it. So thank you.
Top guys, thank you very, very much. So last week we played two games. We'll go into both of them been more talked about than I think any two games in football in history over the last week. So apologies that we've got to revisit them again ourselves. But yeah, Arsenal played Chelsea at home in the Premier League, come into this one with the same team that completely demolished Spurs in another London derby. But this time we've got to play another one. You know, we're not like the Manchester clubs where we've only got two a season. We have about 8 or 9. Just throw that in there. But yeah, we got a victory that obviously saw us retain our 5-point gap at that time at the top of the table. So quickly going into this one, 21 minutes in, I thought we didn't start amazingly, but yeah, we got the corner. It's another set piece from Bukayo Saka whipped in. Gabriel kept the ball alive. And then Saliba finally scored a goal. I know, Neil, you said about Saliba scoring, so I'll come to you first on that. And yeah, it did take a nick on Shah on the way in, but that goes in and we're 1-0 up. And Gabriel there as well, involved in 25 goals in the Premier League since he's joined, 20 goals and 5 assists, makes him the all-time leader for Arsenal of defenders with goals and assists in the Premier League, overtaking Lauren Koscielny with 24. So, bit of fun and facts for everybody. So, what we like to do here. But Neil, what did you make of that one?
Yeah, it's crazy. I think I was on talking to Jack about it on the Purely Pod, and I said a few years ago you think it would be incredible to see an assist by a centre back to score. I mean, I know we saw it in that famous victory against Everton in '98, was it, where Bowles sends Adams through. But it's a rare thing, a rarity. But actually, these days, it doesn't really come as a surprise. They're so involved in our set pieces, especially the corners. It was almost had a taste of inevitability about it. We even before the corner was taken, just thought that there's probably more of a chance of getting something out of this than not. But it's just the deliveries, isn't it? The deliveries that both Rice and Saka can actually produce are so spot on, so difficult to defend against. They get them right in the danger areas. Rice especially more in the danger areas. Saka this time a little bit further out on the far post, but still we expected it. It was all planned, I think. And Gabriel, the way he rises above everyone else is unbelievable, and he just goes to show that they are so in the zone when it comes to this particular passage of play that we are very, very hard to stop. And then, of course, Saliba gets a little bit of a deflection, but it was still heading in the net. It was goal bound, so that's why he got the goal. I think it's just magnificent work, I do want more forward play. I do want more open goal play, but I'm not going to be dismissive of this. And I'm getting sick and tired of hearing over and over again that we are resorting to these kind of tactics, where the game before we scored 4 magnificent open goal, open play goals. And actually they were all very good. They were all very, very good goals. So if we can mix it up with set play and then sometimes where it is just purely set pieces, who cares? We're the ones that are winning. You're not. So shut your mouth, right? No one was moaning when Mourinho was parking the bus and playing boring anti-football. And then all they talked about was his successes, always trying to get one over on Wenger. Now it's our turn. So shut your mouth holes. Yeah, we're top of the league. We're 7 points clear. And we're going to do the quad. End of. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I think, James.
Oh, sorry, unprofessional. Yeah, Melvyn, I was just about to say, do you echo those sentiments as well?
Well, I do actually, and it's quite funny, ironic that an expression that's used in life is perfect for the way they treat Arsenal. When Arsenal do something, they always move the goalposts. Everyone else can do something, and it's fine. But when Arsenal do it, hold on, no, that's not right. It's changes. So it's laughable, actually. As we're winning, it's laughable. But when we're not winning, it frustrates me. It really does, because they're just so jealous. These people, they don't know how to get us. Even with the George Graham days when we were 1-0, 1-0 to the Arsenal, they didn't even like that. No, you should let the opposition score, make a game of it. We should actually do that. So anyway, it's exactly as Neil said, that they want to have a pop at us from any angle. But it's not working at the moment, especially not on the field, because we're winning.
Yeah, and straight after that one, as per usual, Arsenal just take your foot off a bit here. And I thought we breathed a bit of life into Chelsea, which I didn't like. They had a corner, which for me, first initial warning, and then there's a really big bone of contention here for some people due to holding, which every team's doing. But again, Arsenal seem to be the ones that are standing out for it. Declan Rice has a potential handball here, and Raya made a great, reflex save, clawing the ball away to prevent it going in there. Did I think it was a penalty? No. I thought that would have, to me, I didn't think it was. But they're moaning about not getting a penalty, but literally the situation right after. And you talked about Saka's delivery there, Neil. I think out of the Chelsea side, I think the only player on the day that I watched him was just like, do you know what? You're a tremendous player. If he could stay fit, I think he'd be right next to Timber as one of the best in the league for right backs, Reece James. And yeah, unfortunately, skims off Nkapie's head into our own net, and it's right at half time, and we go into half time at 1-1. Melvyn, how was things when you were watching this in the ground?
It was frustrating to watch that game. I mean, how many times did we have a chance to go 2-0 up? I'm not saying there were easy chances, but there were chances that could be made easy if we would have been quicker on the shot or do something more decisive. No, we fluffed around a bit outside their box. Teams love that. If you're going to fluff around outside the box, there's much time to get back. There's so many, and we had mishit shots. It was frustrating. And even though Chelsea really didn't look that dangerous on open play, I mean, if they're allowed to do that, like we are, I think that you knew something. We've been here before, and we've been it so many times this season, where, as you say, Jane, we allow teams back in the game. We go 1-0 up, and we think we've done the job. We can't keep playing those odds. I know we're saying, oh, it's okay because get over the line and all that business. But we were at that stage, was it 10 games out? You can't do it for 10 games. You might do it for 2 or 3 games at the end of a season, but not for 10. And at some stage, going to bite you on the bum. So I was very, very frustrated. And at half time, 0-0, I thought, oh, no. We've got to start the hard work again. It's like everything else. When you start a game, it's 0-0. It's the hardest thing to get the first goal, isn't it? And we had to get the first goal again. Get the boulder moving is always the hardest thing. So yeah, frustration, and Could this be a turning point? Thank God it wasn't, but it did think. I mean, especially the way we started the second half, because we didn't get near their second half, did we? They looked more like they were going to get a goal than we were. So, yeah, very frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. And Neil, I'll quickly come to you for the second half. Chelsea again had a bit more of a foothold than Arsenal. You got the incident with João Pedro and Raya, which a lot of Chelsea fans and some of the media lovey-doveys are deeming it's a penalty. I think if this gets given, I'm taking bias completely aside. If I was a neutral, I'd go Arsenal been quite hard done by if that's a penalty. David Raya, for me, he's always got eyes on the ball. He follows João Pedro to where the ball's going. And yes, João Pedro does get the ball first with his head. But as a goalkeeper, look, I used to play in goal. My whole thing is if that ball's in there and I can contest for it, I can punch. And I can punch with one hand and I can punch with two hands. Do I think David Raya's being clumsy there? No. Do I think he's being violent there? No. And to me, that's where the standard should be. I'm like, is he being an idiot? And is he literally going, I want to smash you in the face? Which is ironically what happened with Sanchez for Chelsea against Gabriel Jesus a couple of seasons ago, where the ball was nowhere near and he just went crunch. So, again, Neil, opinion on that one? I think I know where you're going to go, but I'll ask anyway.
I'm sorry. If Ray hadn't gone for that ball, we would be crying and moaning and complaining about him. That's the job of the goalkeeper, as you just said. You're a goalkeeper yourself. That's exactly what the goalkeepers should do, and we would be sitting here disappointed that why didn't he go for that? Nothing. It's not a penalty. That is the goalkeeper's job. Yes, if his eyes are on the player and he takes the player out and his eyes are not on the ball, then there's a different discussion to be had. If the penalty wasn't given, maybe we would be sitting here thinking, well, we were a bit lucky there. But he is fixated on the ball, nothing else. He can't help it if the player is also, that the opposition player is also going for the ball. That is football. That is part of the game, for goodness sake. Let's not go crazy with this. You can get a red card for breathing on a player. It's getting ridiculous. God, Melvyn's day. When I started watching football on those muddy pitches, the fouls and things going on, the new generation would be shocked. It would be a horror show. They wouldn't be able to watch it. They'll be thinking they're watching like a horror film, like Hostel or something. They won't be able to take it. Some of those fouls, I mean, you had to literally break someone's leg in half to get a yellow card in those days. So, all right, I know the game's evolved and it's moved on, and I know that's a bit of a crazy analogy. But what I'm saying is here in this particular case, given its context, he's going for the ball. That's it. No penalty. And you're right. But the other time, our thing, he takes him out completely. And I don't think it was given, was it? I can't recall. Nothing was given.
A lot of people were showing as well the one years and years ago. And I want to say his name was Marcus Alonso, but I've probably got that wrong. He's Xabi Alonso's brother. And it's when he goes for the header, but he goes like that. Do you remember Bellerin? And Bellerin's like he's spinning like Looney Tune. And they still gave the goal. I'm like, are you mad?
Yes, I remember that now.
I'm like, he's killed him. I'm
like, literally unconscious.
Yeah, I said Bellerin eats corn. He ain't going to get up.
Yeah, he knocked him out, nearly knocked him outside the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember
that
one.
Against us. But when it comes to us, it's such a highlight. As Melvyn was saying, it's like a spotlight goes on us. Look at that. They can only win by cheating. Yes, of course we can. Well, if that's the way you want to see it, great. Because we're going to win by cheating then. Wonderful. I'll take it.
Yeah, and it's like you said, nobody said anything about United in their heyday or when Chelsea had their heyday about them being cheats. It was all, oh, look how amazing and wonderful this is.
Can I just add on something, James?
Yeah,
sorry
to
interrupt. But no one said anything last season about Liverpool, who were worthy champions, what Van Dijk got up to. He got away with murder. No one mentioned that every week, and he practically did it every week. Football, sometimes in front of the referee. Nah, sorry, not having it.
Yeah, and his partner Canate, I've always said, is a snide. He will take about 8 or 9 before he gets booked, but he gives subtle little they're clever. Like, don't get me wrong, we've done it a few times this season and got away with it. But I'm like, thing is, we do that about twice, and eventually we'll get booked. Look at Mosquera the other night. I know we'll go into that a bit later, But them lot,
We got
they used
that
to get
one,
about
yeah.
8. Yeah, we got about 8 or 9, and then they get booked. But yeah, Arsenal, 66th minute, pull it back. Jurriën Timber makes it 2-1. Another corner from Declan Rice, and Timber headed it home to restore the lead. And that's the 9th time this season Arsenal have scored a winning goal from the corner, which is a new Premier League record. I know we kept mentioning about breaking records today. And then Arsenal as well have equalled the record of 16 goals scored from corners in a single season in the Premier League, alongside Oldham in 1992 and 1993, West Brom in 2016 and 2017. And then Arsenal went, you know what, we'll break our own record because we've done that in 23-24. So it's like we've equalled a record that we already had. But yeah, there's 9 games left to play. I'm sure we'll score a few more from corners to upset, as I call him, Lord Neville of Nevilleshire, who was absolutely shameless, by the way, in this game. He's claiming a foul after that goal goes in. You know, he's having an aneurysm about a foul on the goalkeeper. Then he watches the replay back and he realises what we all think and how much of a mug you actually are, because Sanchez is in no man. You know the bit in Pulp Fiction where John Travolta walks in and he's just, that is Sanchez there. He's like, oh yeah, literally. He's like,
There's
the
a
ball's
meme
there.
there, isn't there? There's a meme.
Exactly, but he's like, oh wait a minute, the ball's there, isn't it? He's like, I'm meant to be over there. Oh God, yeah, and yeah, I mean, he's a clueless goalkeeper anyway. I think he's useless. He left the complete centre of the goal uncontested, so Timber could just go. Like, he just nodded the ball in. He didn't have to put any, like, you know, neck or power into it. He could just go.
Hey, good morning.
Ding.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
good morning. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'll touch on that with you, Melvyn. Obviously it bailed us out on the day, but yeah, what do you think of that one?
Well, with Neville's commentary, not that he saw a foul, he was wishing for a foul, and it was so obvious. The mask totally slipped. So, I mean, we knew it anyway. I mean, it was not. We didn't. Not even confirmation. It's like we've gone that way. We got the T-shirt from years ago with Neville. He hates us, and it's lovely that we're winning. One of the reasons I want to win this title is because of Neville. I really want him to hurt, because he hates us, and hate's never good.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and
carry
the
on,
thing is,
mate. You carry on. It's
he'll
embarrassing.
do,
You've embarrassed yourself once again.
definitely, and he'll do his usual of the. He's like, well, I backed you to win the league, so I'm happy, because I'm like, yeah, shut up. Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what? Just touching on Melvyn. I mean, even when they scored the equaliser, you straight away, oh, Arsenal have been Arsenal. The smugness in his voice and the happiness and the glee. These so-called professional pundits are supposed to be impartial. Now, look, I actually, even when I listen to Ian Wright when he used to be on a lot and commentate on our games, I'd go, I know you love Arsenal, and we love you for it, but just calm it down a little bit, because actually you're supposed to be impartial. But there's no spite in Wright when he talks about other teams. If you've noticed, there's no real spite with people like Neville and Carragher. You can hear and feel their spite, and they really, and what Melvyn just said.
I think there. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think with Carragher, I thought you were going to say spit, not spite. Sorry, I got confused.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He shouldn't be on TV, Melvyn, for what he did. He should never have been able to be back on the box. It's unbelievable. At least be sacked from Sky. I can't believe I would never get over that. And then maybe he was re-employed. I mean, they did it to Andy Gray and the other horrible, nasty bloke. I can't stand.
Hasbulla.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they did it to them. So I can't understand that. But it just makes me wonder how they can be this way, and it's so palatable, it's so obvious, it's so blatant. And I agree with Melvyn, not just for us to win it, so to get on it, to show one up on him, but so many like him, Melvyn. I would love to see them all with egg on the face. And if we can win the quad, oh mate, it's not impossible.
No.
But yeah,
I'm going to say something better than my wife might be listening. Actually, won't be.
But yeah,
impossible.
Pedro Neto then got sent off for Chelsea after 2 yellows. this for me further galvanises Chelsea. I mean, they're so used to playing with 10 men; it's natural now. That's just every game for them. And we had a bit of a late surge from them. Raya made a really big save from Garnacho. It was like a cross that he thought someone was going to come for.
Phenomenal.
And then
Phenomenal.
he made a top tier save. And then João Pedro has that overhead kick, which he makes another save from. But he's offside. Gary Neville was willing it to be onside again. We could all see from home.
You missed that one as well, Gary. You missed that one as well, son.
Yeah. I'm like, you've got more
hope against reality, Gary. Hope against reality.
But yeah, they've got more monitors and everything around it. They could even see the pitch over the top of the gantry as well as all the monitors. But yeah, he still couldn't see how offside João Pedro was. And then Delap tapped it in, but it didn't matter because he was offside, obviously. And Arsenal saw this game out. But for me, I thought Arsenal all over were dreadful here on the day. I appeared on the Highbury squad and we had a big debate in regards to points over the performance. And for me, look, I think it's only natural when you lack cutting edge in open play from the majority of your attack, like we did in that game. I thought all of them were pretty much rubbish. I think you can grow a little bit concerned regarding the sustainability of that when you're trying to push for a title. I also think as well, like Wolves, we created unnecessary panic that spread into the players and into the crowd as well. And for me, I think Chelsea are a totally inferior side. I know I got so much flack for that when I said that last week on there. But if you listen to, and I know it's hard, but there are sensible Chelsea fans out there. There are. They don't rate this team at all either. They were like, we should have been pummeled because we are, the dogs. But after Pedro Neto's card, and I'll come to you first, Neil, for your opinion, and I'll go to Melvyn's. They had 114 passes to Arsenal's 55. And then from the 85th minute until the final whistle, Chelsea had 53 passes to Arsenal's 7. Now, where do you stand on this in terms of this is, the defensive solidity and we're seeing it out? Or are you just like, that is just, again, unsustainable? We shouldn't be, like Melvyn said earlier, we shouldn't be playing percentages. We shouldn't be doing this war of attrition. We've got the players that are good enough to go front foot on a side like Chelsea and see them out. I mean, I'm still on the line of it's title by all means necessary. But I'm like Melvyn in that I'm like, I can't see where this sustains because I've seen the footage of the last 4 seasons and it shows we get burnt in the end. But what say you?
Wow, there's so many thoughts going through my head, so just bear with me. Firstly, just taking this game in isolation, you mentioned their goalkeeper, the fact that he was so nervous, the fact that he was pretty much... how can you say, on the back foot with his own confidence, maybe. And what frustrated the hell out of me is we didn't take advantage of that. None of our attackers took advantage of that. So that in isolation, yes, frustrated me. And if I'm going to get pelters for that, I don't care, because I'm saying facts here. Secondly, when we move on from the scenario where the game before we were devastating going forward, devastating. How can that change overnight? I don't care how Chelsea set up. We're at home and we do it consistently. Michael has alluded to it. You have, Melvyn, all of us. We get that first goal, we just sit back, job done. No, it's not good enough. We are supposed to be commanding this title. We're at the top of the tree. Let's stay there. Yes, we have to. How can you say? We have to implement that defensive side. Of course, we do. The best title-winning sides have had a great goalkeeper, as Raya demonstrated with those magnificent saves. I remember 4 or 5 world-class saves in one game, and he's done it before. That is the mark of a champion, where a goalkeeper can earn you 12 to 15 points. Then secondly is the solidity of the defence in front of the goalkeeper. Yes, we need that. But also the modern way of playing. I remember when we used to play back under George Graham, it was that 1-0 and it worked. It worked. But the modern game, the way it's involved, is about free-flowing attacking football too. It's changed a lot. And I'll cite it again. The decent or the title winning sides of Liverpool and Manchester City of late, they knew how to kill off games. They would kill them off. They won't be happy with the 1 or 2 nils. They would just make sure they're dead and buried, and that's it. And we used to do it. We used to do it under Wenger, under his heyday. We'd be 4-0 up at half time, and then we take the foot off the gas, and the end result would be 4-0 or maybe 5-1, because the job is already done. And we're at home against a side which isn't as good as us. I agree on that one. And we didn't take advantage of a bad goalkeeper. And I thought, actually, we were the ones down to 10 men, not them. The way I was watching that game, the frustration, I can't tell you. I've been frustrated against the game against Wolves, big time. You know this, James. I was livid on the chat. Now, yes, now you can look back on it in hindsight and think, well, actually, Wolves are not doing bad. That actually wasn't a bad point. Well, yes, it was. We were 2-0 up. We were 2-0 up. Sorry. It was a drop of 2 points as far as I'm concerned. I don't care what they're doing against other teams now. That's a different football game. In our game, we should have made sure we got the win. And just like that, Chelsea, the same thing. The Man United game, same thing. Brentford, the same thing. It keeps repeating. And I've said before earlier, this, like you said, 4 months ago, I think it was in December, James, this is not sustainable now throughout the whole season. Yes, come end of April, May, when the pressure is really on, we take any means necessary to win. But we can't do that game in, game out, because we will get found out. Plus, the other thing, final point, sorry, I've gone on a bit about this, because it makes my, bores my piss. We're putting more pressure on the players. They're putting more pressure on themselves to just hold on to that 1-0 lead or whatever it is. It's more pressure. So we've got 4 competitions. You put more pressure on yourselves. It's tiring, not just physically, but mentally as well and emotionally. It's a drain on them. So why don't you just go and kill a game? And I'm not saying you relax, but the pressure will be less. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and you make a good point there about the mental side of things, because for me, when these subs are coming on, and even though sometimes there are a lot of attacking subs, and again, I don't blame him for it, because it's got him to this point. For me, he's a safety first manager, and I've got no issue with that whatsoever. But I'm like, the forwards, it's not necessarily I'm coming on to kill this game off. It's also, I've got to think about what I'm doing to protect the fullback. I've got to protect this midfield, the best, with the first line, the forwards are the first line of the defense, basically. And so it's like you said, yeah, mentally, it's like, I've got to think about, do I actually make that run and try and score another, or do I do? And it's, I think you've made a great point there, Neil. But Melvyn, where do you stand on this debate before we do the man of the match, which is going to be probably very obvious for that game? And then we'll get into Brighton. But where do you stand on all of this? I know you had a bit of a chat about it earlier, but if you want to expand or what have you, take the floor.
Well, yeah. I mean, the one game, and we spoke about this before, the one game where it suddenly the light went on in my head about what we're doing wrong was the Sunderland away game. They had a fantastic home record. They were 1-0 up. Everyone was saying, "Oh, this is fantastic, Sunderland. Look what they're doing to Arsenal." And then we come out second half and we blitzed them. We tore them a new one. It was fantastic to watch. We went 2-1 up. Not job done, but 2-1 up. And basically, the crowd, and you could feel the players' body language, didn't fancy it. So what do? We went back in our shell. We said, "Go on, attack us." And that's what they did. And they got a ball. They got a goal. The ball come in, and they got a bit of a strange goal, but it was a goal. They all count. And it just thinking, why did you do that? If we'd attacked them, they'd have gone in their shell, and then we could have seen the game out 3-4. It was a 3 or 4-1 game. That was. We turned it into a 2-2 game. And we've done it time and time again. Home to Wolves, we panicked. That was another one. We got away with that one in the last minute. And also with football, if you've got a good defence, then take advantage of it. We can afford, with that good defence we've got, to attack other teams. And once we attack other teams, they can't attack us, can they? It's just, it makes so much. I just can't get my head around it. Sorry, Neil, go on. You're on mute, Neil. Neil, you're on mute.
Melvyn, exactly that. Melvyn, can you hear me now? Yeah, no, exactly that. And I'm sorry, I will take it one step further. Melvyn, I'll take it one step further and shoot me down for this. I've said before, for me, I mean, maybe I don't know jack crap about football and science and tactics, but from a layman's point of view, strikers are there to do a job to strike. Midfielders are there to do a defensive, but also a creative duty to service the strikers. And I get a bit tired sometimes when I hear, look, I know Trossard came, I think on the Brighton game, done some defensive stuff, which was great near the end. But the point is, for me, a striker's job is at the other end of the pitch to put the ball in the net. That's what they're paid to do. We've already got, you've just touched on it, Melvyn. We've got a world-class keeper, arguably probably the best keeper on the planet at the moment. Then we've got a great defence in front of him, and we've got an amazing defensive midfielders as well in our squad, right? That's their job to defend. Strikers, really, they should be thinking about forward stuff. And if they can't do that, if they cannot do that, because on one hand, like you just said, James, so they're thinking about all my defensive duties. If they can't do that, or they're not allowed to do that, then that puts more pressure on the defence, I think, because the defence thinking, why aren't you going forward and doing what you're supposed to be doing? And I think this is where we saw that panic moment in Raya as well, where he panicked. It was the Wolves game, wasn't it? And he panicked because we weren't 4-3-4-1 up or 4-1 up, 3-4-3. No, we didn't have that cushion, and he panicked. And I think that sets panic in as well. So it's almost like a double-edged sword. Yes, they're supposed to be helping defensively, but also because they're focusing on that and we're not scoring the extra goals, we're very close to the edge. And I think that can also set panic into the defence and our goalkeeper too. So I see it from more of a bigger picture, but maybe I'm completely wrong. But I just think that we are too damn cautious. We're not killing games. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and we've had this debate before, haven't we? Where we all spoke about when we used to go in the old days, and we'd, I've got it in the background there of the East Stand Upper. I know that's where you sat as well, Melvyn. And like I said, I never come out of games in that time, in that era that I went with my dad. And I was just like, do you know what? Carnu really tracked back well today. He really helped Ashley Cole today, Carnu. I never saw. I was like, "Whoa, Ian Wright! He put some tackles in, didn't he? Ian Wright put a real
there
shift
you go.
in.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I guess again, I think the modern game dictates that. I know you're panning for nostalgia as well, and everybody does it. I'm guilty of it, but yeah.
No, James. Look, I don't disagree with their defensive duties. We saw it in Brighton. So if you look at the Brighton game, I watched some highlights before we came on. And you see Trossard doing defensive duties, and he did it well. He saved that. He could have been instrumental in saving us, right? Stopping them from scoring a goal. That's great. But at the end of the day, if you're not doing it what you're supposed to be doing, then you don't really necessarily have to keep focusing on the defence either. But what I'm trying to say is, if we're 3 or 4-0 up, then if they score one goal in the 95th minute, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world, is it? We've still got our 3 points. This is the point I'm making. And you just alluded to it there. We weren't worrying about Henry. Oh, he didn't do his defense. Oh, he scored the best hat-trick I've ever seen, but he didn't do his defensive duties. I will knock him down to 5 out of 10. It's nonsense.
Yeah, he scored 4 goals against Leeds in one game, but he didn't help Ashley Cole that day. Yeah. So we're going to knock him down a few points. But yeah, man of the match for this game against Chelsea. I will ask if you've got another one. I will go round the circle as per. David Raya. For me, the only one who didn't drop his level. I thought everybody at one point in that game had moments where they were shaky, and he was the only one that stayed consistent. Now, I can go back and do the segment from last week again. Sorry for the audio listeners because you missed this, but I've got David here, so I'll say to David, what did you think of David Raya's game? And he's gone 10. He's given him a 10 again, so there you go. David has come back again for 2 weeks, and he's given him 10 points. So well done there. But yeah, touching on to the next game with Brighton. Sorry for breaking you again, Neil. I know you like Ask David. I think that's one of your favourite segments of the show. But yeah, we roll into the Brighton game at the Amex. Gabriel Martinelli's the only change here for the side after the last 2 league games. Again, rolled out with a 1-0 win. This combined with Manchester City drawing 2-2 with Nottingham Forest has put us 7 points clear at the top of the table with just 8 league games left. But yeah, going into this one, really shaky start for me from Arsenal. Mosquera very early on gets caught in possession, and then literally seconds after that, David Raya receives a back pass from Gabriel, and he's got the option to pass to Mosquera, and Mosquera is safe and in plenty of space. But I think he's thinking, no, a couple of minutes ago you had the ball at your feet and you messed up. So he's gone the other way, and it's gone straight into the oncoming press of Brighton. And Baleba for Brighton's tried to dink him, but Gabriel was there, made a massive block. But yeah, what did you think? Obviously, before we opened the scoring, and I'll go to you first here, Melvyn, about how we started that game. I was like, I knew Brighton the first 10 minutes, especially after his press conference the day before, and he's not a likeable guy anyway. But I knew for the first 10 or 15, they're going to go really hard at us. So we need to read this well. And I don't think we did that first 5 minutes.
We should have known what to expect, and we should have been able to do something about it. No, it was very poor. The goalkeeping mistake. I mean, had they scored, who would have known? And then all of a sudden, we're looking at, however great he's been, our goalkeeper, do we point the finger at him for not winning the league? I know it'd be slightly unfair, but you know, these things stay in the memory, don't they? It's just, and also, I mean, Mosquera has been outstanding when he's played for us. It was unusual for him to get caught in possession like that, and he got caught in possession, I think, about a few yards from their goal, just outside the box, wasn't it? Which he never normally does. He doesn't normally come forward that much. He was taken on the new Saliba role when he actually crossing the halfway line. No, it's very disappointing. The crowd are up, obviously. It's a tight ground and all that business, and it was very big. I've got something to say about the game as a whole later on, but very disappointing. Have you seen what's just come through this morning? We're not going to get our team news for today's game until later. Normally it's an hour and a quarter for Premier League games, aren't they? You know, it's normally an hour and a quarter. Yeah. I've been told by someone that Arteta will not give out the team news until, when he's still waiting for it, he gets a phone call from Fabian Herzler about what team he should play and what tactics he should play during the game. So we'll have to wait a bit longer for that.
You always get me. You always get me. I think he's being so goddamn serious, and it turns into that. Oh my God, Melvyn, stop it! He does it every time to me.
Oh, it is funny. It is funny. But yeah, Neil. Not long after that, Arsenal seized the lead. Bukayo Saka, who a few minutes before this had a similar chance, and we're all going shoot, 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 and he played a cross. I don't know who he was trying to pick with the cross. It was dreadful, but he made the wrong decision. But he shoots here, lashes a shot from the edge of the box, takes a deflection, hits the keeper on the way in. Do I care? No. And a great way to mark his 300th game for Arsenal. And he's the 4th ever youngest player to reach 300 games for Arsenal after O'Leary, Fabregas and Liam Brady. But yeah, what did you make of this one? Just quickly to point out as well, when I watched this back, like you said there, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to check how many players are in the box for Brighton. There was 7. And I'm like, now, this is something that happens a lot for us. There's about 8 or 9 players, as well as the goalkeeper, in the box. So stop trying to cross, stop trying to run through, and just have a pop. You know, it's wet, it's sliding, shoot. And this is exactly what happened here, and he scored.
Yeah.
I'm like, when the box is like that and it's packed, have a go.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And it did. No, it was wonderful. I mean, look, I'm still not going to budge from the fact that I think our performances haven't been great. But I will say this. I will say, having thought about it and reflected as you do, because after the game, there's emotions and you're going to say things and feel things that maybe after a couple of days, you might see things slightly differently. I will say this. We've had Tottenham, Chelsea and Brighton on the trot. They're three very tough games on paper. That's really tough. Brighton are no mugs. They're a good unit. They are a good team away. They're not easy. We've seen them dismantle other teams, good teams. Chelsea and Tottenham speak for themselves. I don't care what form Tottenham are in. It's still a North London derby. I know they're going to get relegated, but that's another thing we can laugh at. Well, he's going to be. I reckon he should go to Tottenham. He should go to Tottenham. Piss off there. And I think to get 9 points out of 9 on those 3 games is something else. And I'm diverted from what you said there, but I think this is what I'm trying to come back to is the goal. The fact that we managed to get the goal. I don't think we played again particularly well. However, we managed to. We are finding a way. Although I'm a little bit contesting it in my very last rant. It's not sustainable, but somehow it's still working. It's still working. We managed to get that goal, and James, I completely agree with you that sometimes these teams. There's another way of looking at this as well. We are being faulted by not being free-flowing and not attacking. But what do you do when teams put a low block against us? I'm not saying Brighton did it all the time, but you just mentioned there 7 or 8 players in the box. How do we breach that? It's difficult. If we're playing against a team that are also attacking and it's an open, free-flowing game, and we don't perform up front, then it's on us completely. And I'm not trying to take that blame away from us, but when it is against a low block, it makes it 10 times harder. So please do this. Get anywhere near the box, have a pop, whether it's from the centre, whether it's from the sides. Saka demonstrated it perfectly there. And I don't care if they're going to go, no, it's a bit of a lucky goal, and it's all down to the goalkeeper. It's all the goalkeeper's fault. I don't care. It's 1-0. Saka gets the goal. Done. We're ahead.
Yeah, definitely. And Melvyn, yourself on the goal. I know you're probably going to echo the sentiments of both of us, but yeah, what about yourself?
Well, I agree with Nick on the goal. You've got to take, especially when the weather's poor. They've got a crowded box. You've got to take a shot because you ain't going to score a goal without a shot. In case Rick scores, ricochet, because it can happen all the time, especially with the bad weather. So I mean. It's chipping little balls into the box. I mean, Dunk wasn't playing, but I reckon if Dunk was playing, we would have probably chipped more high balls in the box. But you've got to just do it because you just need one of them. And also, even if it doesn't go for a goal, what might happen? It might be a corner, which is better than a penalty. So you just keep doing it. Just keep doing it, and all of a sudden they'll have to change their tactics to defend. They'll have to come out a bit. Well, this ain't working. So let's try that. So I totally agree with that. But if I could talk about the game totally, just for one, you talk about. All right, Neil.
You broke him. You broke him saying corners are better than penalties.
Generally, that's the most emotional.
So naturally, isn't he? Just better than a penalty. Yeah.
So
you're fine. Keep going, Melvyn. You're fine.
That was the most emotional I've got outwardly for a game. No, right. No, it was just I was so annoyed with the way we were playing. I didn't enjoy it. I had Jerome and Craig. We were watching it together, and I was I wasn't swearing, but I was really getting uptight. I said, and when it came through the scores with Man City, I go, I don't care. Even if they drop points, which I don't think they will, Man City, because they're going to get another goal. I said, we're going to not draw this game. We're going to lose this game. We were that poor. I felt we weren't doing anything to help us get the 3 points. As it happened, we got it. And I think it was perhaps, people would disagree with me, it was a little bit more luck than judgment. Martinelli nearly gave a penalty away, didn't he? When he evidently he held one of their defenders. We're not even looking at the ball. Now, that could have easily been given. Now, what I want to know is...
For me, it was Melvyn. It was a penalty.
Yeah. What I want to know is that, yeah, fair enough. Well, I didn't want to be honest with you. That was such a poor game. I know we got the 3 points. I did not want to watch it again. I didn't even watch Match of the Day when I put it on. I didn't want to know. No interest. And it's like we got beat. I felt we got beat. We got the 3 points, if that makes sense. It was that. That's how upset I was. But if
Actually,
Martinelli
Melvyn,
or any other footballer that wears our shirt gives away a penalty like that, he should be dropped for 5 games. Because what's up there? What's going on? It ain't difficult. It's not a split-second thing. It just annoys me. Again, stupid mistakes. We've got to get that out of our system. At the moment, we've got away with it. But please God, we can carry on like that and get away with it. Otherwise, we've got ourselves to blame.
I was just going to. I completely agree with him. We've won the last few games, but actually, it feels like. Am I going to get shot for saying this? Some of them, I don't even felt we deserved the points. I know that sounds crazy, because no, I mean,
that's right. You're honest.
But
you're honest.
But I just feel that we were inept. We've been inept in some of these games. Absolutely. I've not enjoyed it, Melvyn. I've been sitting there watching this, and I'm thinking, what the hell are we doing? Well, it comes through on the chat anyway. You guys know how I feel. I'm like, what are we doing? What is this bullshit? Sorry to swear this early in the morning, but it's a fact. We're supposed to hang on. We're a professional. We're Arsenal Football Club. We're a professional.
It's
team.
after 9 o'clock. This morning.
Yeah, yeah. We're after the watershed. We are arguably one of the best teams. Well, historically, we are in the world. We have actually got form on our side. We have been the only other team in the last 4 seasons. We are in control this season, and we're playing football like this. It's almost as if, no, come on, beat us. Come on, score another goal, beat us. It hasn't been enjoyable at all. Yes, we've got the points, and I just said a few minutes ago that we got 9 points from 3 very difficult, or arguably very, very difficult games where we could have not got any, but we got 9 points and we've done the job. But to say if I've enjoyed it, not a bit, apart from the Tottenham game, of course, but not Brighton and Chelsea, not a bit. Didn't enjoy them at all.
Yeah, and I mean, effectively, after we scored the goal and what have you, we shut up shop and failed to register another shot for the remainder of the first half. Sort of limited Brighton to next to nothing as well. And the best chance of the second half, funny enough, fell to Kai Havertz when he come on, who did very well just because he could keep the ball. I mean, Gyökeres, I got a bit of stick on Highbury squad for this. I think he had 20 touches in the game and he lost possession in 13 of them. I was like, look, he had a bad day. I'm like, do I hate Gyökeres? No. I'm like, if anything, me and Mike have been one of the biggest defenders. I've been called Gyökeres' lawyer all season for how I've been defending him. So, but I'm like, he had a stinker. I'm like against Chelsea, he had a stinker. It happens. Write it off. We'll see what he's like the week after. I'm like, I don't hate him. I don't wish ill on him. Go for it, Melvyn.
No. I think you said 13 out of 20 he lost. I thought it would be higher than that, honestly. And also, but on the other side, though that doesn't make his performance any worse, or hinder his performance, I should say, sorry, he never gets anything from any ref. He gets fouled, doesn't get the foul, but when he gets the ball off a player, they'll always give a foul against a situation where they've given a foul where he's just going to go on to potentially score. But it's like they don't like him. It's like, I don't know what he's done wrong. Is it because they think if he's got to take his name, they can't spell his name or something? They've got something against the geezer. And I don't know what it is. I don't know, because he's much bigger than all the other players that they think he's bullying them or something. It's just, it doesn't matter. But he had a nasty game the other night. Let's. I mean, I want him to do well. Desperately want him to do well. But he stunk the place out, as they used to say. He really did.
Yeah, and we obviously end up winning the game. That's 10 games this season that we've won by 1 goal margins. Only since the Invincibles we've done better, when they got 12 at this same point. So they're only two games behind 1 goal margin wins since the Invincibles. But yeah, obviously this game, like the Chelsea one, marred in controversy with Arsenal's tactics and our game management. And they revealed the ball was in play for quite a short amount of time in this game. Arsenal took collectively over half an hour on taking corners, goal kicks and throw-ins. And I felt this was deliberate, and I back it because of the comments that he made the day before about us wasting time and how we get away with it and what have you. And yeah, he was obviously furious after the game, accusing Arsenal of making their own rules and only one team tried to play football, and the amount of times that goalkeepers delay things. But I've got a little thing here that I'll flash up on the screen in a sec, just for all of the viewers here, and I'll explain it to the audio listeners, but I'll show it to you two here as well. And I've put an additional graphic next to it just to emphasize. I got the real graphic from the boffins, and then I've put my own little tiny one there just to emphasize it. But this is a graph of all the goalkeepers in the Premier League.
I've seen this one.
And how long they take to release the ball. Now, we're all very astute men here, all three of us. Who's number 2 on that, please, for taking the longest? Is that Verbruggen? Oh, he's the goalkeeper for Brighton. Oh, right. And who's number 3 on being the quickest? Oh, that's David Raya for Arsenal. So, yeah.
No, and can't be. No. Technical
and next
error, obviously. Yeah. Technical error.
And next to it, I've put the nice little graphic of Hincapié just telling him to shush. That's, and that's it. I mean, I've not seen my family celebrate beating a German since about the 1940s, I think. I think this one, there's a really big one for he completely rattled the family this week, Ursula. But yeah, he was obviously very furious about our time wasted. Do you feel, and I'll go to you first here, Neil, do you feel it was elite game management which is required to win a title, and winning ugly, which we've been accused of not being able to do for so long? Is this Arsenal pushing the boundaries of what we can get away with too far, or do you think we're just the best at doing what is it within the rules? And the context I'll add to this is that I saw Jack Wilshere basically lose a career. I saw Abu Diaby lose a career. I saw Aaron Ramsey. He continued to have a career, but he was never the player that he could have been. That season where he was just shooting from wherever and it was going in. I was just like, oh my God, Aaron. We were saying he was better than Bale, and Bale was just pretty much on the way to Madrid at that point. He was just shooting from God knows where it was going in. And then we saw Eduardo, who me and you both love, had his career effectively ruined. And that guy, I don't care. I said about I'm not being biased earlier. I'm going to be biased now. That guy was on course to be one of the best strikers ever in the Prem.
Correct.
He could score. He could score tap-ins. He could score volleys. He could score header. He could do everything. But he had his career ruined. And we got told we were weak. We had to get on with it. We had no cojones at one point.
Men against boys.
Exactly. And it's now again that we're having a bit back. Yeah, where do you stand on it? Do you feel like we're getting away with things, or do you think we know the laws, we've had the laws explained, and we're just the best at what we do in the confines of all these laws?
Okay. Firstly, the narrative is always there to go against us, no matter what the situation, and it's always about convenience as well. Narrative and convenience, to always show us in a bad light and show every other team in a great light. Apparently, only a few days ago, Liverpool were now the new set-piece kings and amazing. Look what they're doing. But we get ridiculed for it. Right, how does that work? And that's just one example of so many. In terms of what we're doing, we're not getting away with nothing. We are playing in the realms of the law, but we're just doing it, articulating it perfectly. We're executing it perfectly. Whether people like me don't like watching it, and I don't like watching it. I want to see some free-flowing good football as well. But if it wins us the title, I'll be the first to celebrate. Call me a hypocrite. I will. I want to win this title desperately, like all of us do. And if it means doing it the not so pleasing way, but effective way, but it's still effective, then my God, we're going to do it that way. So what, right? If playing this way means what Melvyn and I fear, and even you, James, that it's not sustainable and then it starts falling apart, then there's an argument to disagree. But at the moment, from hearing all the noises from outside, they can go and do one. It's all about us and what we do. Couldn't care less. And actually, I'll give the players credit here, because I think they're getting on with what they're doing, and they're not listening to all that noise. They're doing what they're doing. They're probably getting so much stick. Can you imagine at the grounds, especially the away grounds? Can you imagine the amount of stick they must be getting, right? But they're thinking, sod you, we're not gonna bow down to you. And you know what? I love the way you have cited those examples of those poor players that have been dismantled, their careers ruined, right? Because we were too soft. Now we're acting differently, and we're being bullied. We're being the bullies, and we're doing it that way, and we're getting ridiculed. So whatever we do, if we play free-flowing football but not win, we're bottle jobs. If we play hardcore football, we're boring, we're cheats, and we're winning the ugly way. We're going to be I will never win a Premiership that way. Excuse me, mate. Let me give you some facts, right? Why don't you try winning some multiple titles? Why don't you try going invincible for a season? Why don't you be the most successful club in history of FA Cup victories? Why don't you be one of the biggest clubs in Europe for years on years on years, and then come and talk? What have you achieved at Brighton, mate? Close your mouth and sod off to Spurs, because then we'll embarrass you some more there. That's what I'll say. And it's people like him that's echoed all throughout. We are self-contained. We do what we do, and we're not doing anything wrong. And I fully back what we're doing. It's not pretty to watch, and I get frustrated. But at the end of the day, I'm not interested in whatever comes out of anyone's mouth. I'm just interested in what our players do, what our manager does, and what our own fan base does. That's all that interests me.
Yeah, and Melvyn, yourself?
You said Hertzler was upset during the game and after the game. I think you got that wrong. He was upset before the game. He had a preconceived idea. He was at it the whole time. It's talk about hypocrisy. How many times you've been at the Emirates and the away goalkeeper messes around with the ball so much it's infuriating. I don't think Raya does it that, but also throw-ons, I agree. It drives me mad when Hincapi and even Timber to a degree, and most certainly Ben White, when they take a throw, you know what they're looking. It seems to me they're looking for not to waste time. I think they're looking for the perfect throw, mate. It's just throw it, and it's in the lap of the gods to a degree. All right, wherever you think you're going to throw it. So that does upset me. They move one way, move the other, especially the away crowd gets shouted, and it's going to be amplified what you're doing. So don't do it. And again, we've got 84 coaches at the Arsenal. Can't one of them become a throwing coach? Take the bloody throw. And that's all you've got to say once a week to them. Take the bloody, and he can go home. He's earned his corn, right? It drives me mad. And also, the dark arts, as great as City have been over the past 8 years or whatever it is, they've had some great players play great football. They still had to the dark arts. I'm not happy with it, but City had to do it. No one said a word. No one said about who's the captain of City now? No bit of work. No one says no. No one says a dicky bird.
Bernardo
in the referee's
Silva,
ear.
I think. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, correct. It's in their DNA. Because the other week, which was quite funny, is Rodri saying that man don't get any refs decisions. I mean, hello? I mean, come on, a little bit reverse mirrors. What's he talking about? Everything goes their way. And you know what? When something doesn't probably go their way, it's magnified because they're not used to it. It's like years ago, I remember, in the Beckham team, Man United team, they got a penalty given against them against Middleton at Old Trafford. They surrounded the ref because they couldn't believe a ref had the audacity to give a penalty against United. And the same with City. Anything gives, if they do ever give anything against City, it's going to go, how dare, that's not football. So it's such hypocrisy. It might be slow on throw-ons, in my opinion, because we weren't looking for the perfect bit, perfect throw-on. Goalkeeper, hypocrisy, and as Neil says, let them stew in their own juice.
Yeah, no, definitely. So just quickly before we wrap up, because I know the TNT coverage starts at 11, so we want to get in front of the old televisions before as soon as possible. Man of the match for this game, I think we might have a bit of a debate here, so I'm ready for it.
I was 11th, right?
But for me, I've gone for Hincapié. I thought that he was immense here, as well as Gabriel. He had to play left back, then he had to move into right centre back, which he's unfamiliar to because of Mosquera's sub. And I thought Hincapié for me was sublime. He intercepted. He had 12 clearances behind Gabriel. Gabriel made a record of 14. That's the most by an Arsenal player in 10 seasons for clearances on the day. But yeah, he made 4 recoveries of the ball, wasn't dribbled past the whole game. And for me, this is where my controversial take comes in. I think next to Declan Rice and David Raya for me, the last couple of weeks, this man's put himself in player of the season for Arsenal contention.
Agreed.
I think he's so consistent in Hincapié.
It's incredible.
That I'm like, the fact that he is a player on loan and he is showing you lot. And I mean, he was an invincible. He was an invincible at Leverkusen. And then they also won the cup as well, the German. So he's done a double. And I'm like, he's showing you guys how to see this out and how to win a title. I think he's that good. And I'm glad that that's a permanent signing now because we just done it for accountancy reasons, you know. Cook the books a bit, not in a cheating way, not in 115 charges way. We just done it sensibly, a bit like how we got Raya. We done it, you know, sensible transfers. Don't have to break laws or rules. But yeah, I thought this guy... Do you know what? He's absolutely immense. And I will give some flowers as well to Jurriën Timber. He's got 3 goals and 5 assists. So that makes him the top contributing for goals defender in the league this season. He's got 8 goals and, you know, in goals and assists. So, yeah. What about you guys? I don't mind the shout if you want to put Gabriel in.
No.
But for me, I love Hincapié at the moment.
Can I quickly go, Melvyn, and then I'll stop. I'll shut up, I promise. So Gabriel, yes, had a great game. Of course, you know, he did, especially with Saliba out. So he was having to take more of the responsibility, and he'd done it well. I actually felt like he was the captain that day. I'm not going to lie. I felt he played like a true captain. Hincapié, or Hitachi, as I prefer to call him, is utterly magnificent. I know he, you know, the own goal with Chelsea, but I'm sorry that's everyone's going to have a blip. So I've always said it. Tony Adams, my favourite player ever. He made some clangers in his time, especially early doors. Absolute clangers. The best players do, but Hincapié, oh my God, incredible! There was that one moment, James. I don't know if you remember it, in Melvyn, that he actually drove forward. He drove all the way forward. He skipped past so many down that wing. And then he lost the ball. What he does, he doesn't pretend, oh, I've got a foul, I'm injured. He got himself up and he drove all the way back. That is elite mentality. What you just said, he's a winner. And someone who's a loanee is showing everyone else how to do it. Hincapié is the player of the season in the last few matches.
Yeah. Melvyn, what about you? Have you got a different one that you want to throw in there, or are you going to agree with the group as well?
It's like it's very difficult because he's a fantastic player. I don't know. I think he could be, or Gabriel for me. I made him man of the match after the 30 minutes. Gabriel, he quarterback the other night. They shall not pass. He was the one the ball seems to be like magnetically going to. He was at the right place at the right time. And every a few things are certain in life. Death taxes and us taking up the option of buying Cape when the,
You forgot one.
after the
Forgot one. Spurs are shite.
loan spell.
But yeah, I was just going to say as well, obviously you two both have been here longer than me and seen many a centre-back at Arsenal, but Gabriel getting the record of the 14 clearances, the first time in 10 seasons that someone's had more. Where do you rank him in terms of the Arsenal centre-backs now? Because obviously the last couple of years, everyone, and again, I'm not trying to diminish anything Saliba does, but I think for me, the last 2 seasons, Gabriel has shown that if he's not there, I think we miss it because he's got more of the leadership qualities than Saliba's just silk. He's pure silk.
But
Gabriel reminds me of the old school that we used to have in that I'm a good footballer, but if you want it, I'll have it with you as well. If you want to have a scrap, I'll scrap you. So it's like, it's your choice. You can play football and we'll have a lovely game of football. But if you want to have a ding dong as well, I'll have a ding dong with you. And that's what I like. I like players like that. Sol Campbell was like that. Adams was like that, But where do you put him in the pantheon of the Arsenal centre-backs for you two?
I would. Melvyn will have more that he remembers. For me, okay, in terms of just ability, he's up there. I'd say top 5, top 6. Yeah, I really would. I really would, because he's had a lot to contend with and he's flying. But at the moment, it's difficult. It's a bit like Messi. Is he the greatest ever? Well, he hasn't won the World Cup yet, and then he did. And then you see, it's a bit like that. He hasn't won anything yet, whereas Adams did, Sol Campbell did, Keown did. All these great centre-backs, they did. And Melvyn, you'll have more to add to that. I think we're going to win this season. I know we are. And then I think you can definitely say that he's top 5 without a shadow of a doubt. I think what he does, you're right. He's kind of merged the modern day football, the evolved football, and the old school into one. The way he plays, it's insane. I think Saliba's more of the new age, the modern one with his silky skills and the way he just moves around, floats around the pitch. But I think Gabriel is more gritty. He's more hardcore. And I think there's a little bit of the old school within him, as you just said. So he's definitely in the top 10 without a doubt. Definitely in the top 10. But I think he's probably edging close to the top 5 when he wins something. Well, when he wins the quad with us, then he'll definitely be there.
And Melvyn, what about yourself? Where do you put him, considering all the ones that you've seen over the years as well?
I put him like Neil agreed, top 5. I've seen quite a few, but top 5, phenomenal. If you're talking about the difference between Saliba and Gabriel, the difference is that a Rolls Royce will never win the Grand Prix. That's what it's like. He's a phenomenal Saliba, but he's a Rolls Royce, where Gabriel was more. I like to put it in words, but I can't. But that's the best way I can put it. No, with Wenger's team after the Invincibles, right? And we had a phenomenal forward line. We had a phenomenal midfield, but how defending, and he never knew, or he never bought, apart from the Campbell situation, about after the Invincibles, top quality centre half. He had some Gabriel, we'd have won the league a couple more times, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how highly I think of him.
Yeah, definitely agree. And we'll just quickly do some comments here before I throw a lineup up and get your predictions. But yeah, Michael, sorry. Okay, oh God, my name's awful. He said, exactly, Neil, how many times did Frank Lampard spam deflected goals when Chelsea won titles and nobody cared? Spot on. Christopher, I don't think I've ever seen you here before, so thank you for coming in. He said, Kepa, Mosquera, Marley Salmon, Saliba, Calafiori, Rice, Norgard, Dowman, Madwecki, Trossard, Jesus is my predicted lineup for today, because Ben White and Skelly are out. Yep, Skelly is suspended. And he said here Gabriel instead of Saliba. Yeah. And Hensei's here. Good morning, Hente. And he's put, this slot is just perfect for me. Yes, it is the better slot in English football. I agree. And then Tyrell again's come in and said 4-0 Arsenal today. Yeah, good prediction. And then we got one here. We had a lot of comments that I had to mute and kick some people out, I'm afraid. But yeah, Latoya Jackson. I don't know if that is the Latoya Jackson has put rubbish. I would say, yeah, a bit like your Playboy shoot in the 80s. So, yeah, very rubbish indeed. But yeah, Mansfield. I've done a lineup, so I'll throw mine up here. And I've gone for Kepa in goal. I've put Salmon at right back. Got Mosquera and Calafiori with Hincapié. We've got a barren team at the moment. 8 of them didn't train yesterday, so I don't know how many of them are going to actually travel up. Norgard, give him a game, please, from the start. 90 minutes. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I've done Kai Havertz and Eze in the midfield. And then Madueke, Trossard, and Jesus will probably have the armband on because he's the one in the group out of there. I would give it to Norgard personally, myself. But Jesus will probably get it because of, he's been there longer and he's part of that leadership group. But yeah, first time in 97 years that we've played Mansfield. The second longest gap since we played Lincoln in the Cup a couple of years ago, which was 117 years.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I will say I don't think either of you were at that one. So
I agree. I think my lineup was. I don't often do lineups. I did one for this, and mine's pretty much the same as yours. But I put one of the senior centre backs instead of Salmon. I put Gabriel to play just to have a bit of seniority there. And I chose. It was going to be between Martinelli and Trossard. I went for Martinelli, so it's almost identical to what you've chosen there. And oh my God, do I agree with Norgard or do I agree with Norgard? He is such another talent. He's a great player for me. He needs to have more minutes for sure. Totally agree with that one.
Yeah. And if we can get a Max Dowman cameo, we will all be very, very happy as well. But quickly, just before we wrap it up and we go and sit in front of the old televisions to watch it, Melvyn, score predictions today versus Mansfield. Nigel Clough's already chucked the towel in saying they are ravaged by injury. And he's like, and they're the best team in the world. So I think even he's gone 4-0 Arsenal today himself. So
Game.
I thought I was that funny. I broke him.
Gamesmanship, isn't it, by him, obviously. I think 3-0 I'm going for. 3-0. 3-0 and look where it's midway, the European. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
hopefully we'll be able to enjoy this one, boys.
Neil, yourself.
Enjoy it. Now.
I'm going for 9 set-piece goals, 9 corner goals, 9-0.
Okay, 9-0. I will be a bit more sensible, and I'm going to go for. I'll go for 3-0 as well. I'll go for 3-0. I'll behave myself. But yeah, thank you very much, both of you. If people want to hear more and find you, where do they go, Melvyn? Where do they find you?
Dave, when you've asked me this in the past, I forgot to do it because my brain goes to just like Arsenal above all. Sometimes really enjoy doing that, and I've been on once or twice, and I might do it a bit more because I've had other things on the North Banks Summit. Liam.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. Nice. I'd want to do more of those as well.
Good man. And Neil, you're pretty much in the same spaces that I always am. But where can we find you as well?
Where there's James, there's a Neil. Where there's a Melvyn, there's a Neil. No, we'll obviously very grateful. They're purely Arsenal. That Jack hosts. I'm pretty much consistent on there, and then of course Michael's Arsenal above all. When he because he does a lot of rotation. He does. Listen, Arteta. Michael trusts his squad, mate. Yeah, learn some lessons. Do the heavy rotation, all right? So, yeah. Obviously Michael's fantastic pod as well. And then yourself, of course, here. Always grateful, and it's always an honour. I've been on a few others here and there, but at the moment, these three are the ones most consistent. So thank you all.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you very much, everybody, and take care. Enjoy the game today, and we will be back next week.
Come on.